I had asked my wife if she wanted, but she begged off. She loves the Zeppelis.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, I bring them home, but I buy an extra bag to eat on the way home. So by the time I get home, I have the powdered sugar all over me.
Oh, that's a good sign. That's a good sign. Shows you enjoyed it, Frank.
Oh, yeah. I have to get down there this year. I got a question for you guys. What do you think about today? What's going on with DC with this guy that shot all these people and kind of getting weird, this whole thing. I mean, it seems to me as if one triggers another one. It's like, I don't want to say
it's true. It's true. It seems like every so many months there's another one that another mass shooting, mass killings. It doesn't happen in Europe. It only seems to happen here. I don't understand it.
Frank, I'm sorry. I don't know if you heard the early conversation, but I was trying to remember there was a mass murder in, I think, England, was it? Or Scotland or something? Do you recall?
No, I missed. I just got in. I was running a little late, and then I couldn't find you guys, so I missed the conversation.
No, do you recall any kind of a mass murder in Europe?
Yeah, somebody. It happens in Europe also. It's not only happening here. Something happened I think you may be right. Sweden, Norway, somewhere up there.
Yeah, but this was like the worst. It was like 100, maybe 80 or 90 people got killed or something.
Yeah, exactly. It happened right around the same time as we had the guy in what's his name? The guy from Texas, the Army guy.
Yeah.
I forgot his name. The guy that just went on trial and was convicted guilty. It happened right around the same time.
The Army major.
Yeah, the Army major.
The psychiatrist.
Right, Nassau, whatever his name was. Right around the same time as that happened, they had a mass murder going on. And I keep thinking that it was up in Sweden or one of those nice, quiet little countries, But it seems as if, one triggers another.
And we were talking before also about the NRA and how they're opposed to all controls. And we sort of both agreed that we don't think the guns are going to go away, but background checks should happen.
I kind of agree with you on that. Listen, we all know that, if they stop the guns, only the bad guys will have guns. We all know that. But there has to be a better system of background checks. But if you look at these people that are doing these things lately, they either legally can have them, right, which is the case I understand today. This guy had a permit to carry,
Well, Frank...
Or they're like in Nassau, Hussein, whatever his name was, that guy, he was able to carry a gun because he was in the military, and then the rest of them were all these people that illegally have guns.
Well, if you think back to Sandy Hook and Adam Lauria, I believe that was his name. He was a problem child. Okay, so he was disturbed. If you think of the shooting in Tucson, Arizona with Gabby Giffords, he was disturbed.
Correct.
Okay, these are two people who would not have passed the background check had there been background checks. And oddly enough, the gentleman today was a Navy reservist from 2007 to 2011. I believe probably checking his background, he would have been approved for a background for owning a weapon.
He was. The only thing I've learned about this was he's had 2 priors with his gun. One time he shot the gun and the police came. This was a little short time ago. The police came and he said the gun accidentally went off. Another time he shot some guy's tires out on his car. That's what the papers were saying, or what the radio
Right,
news
I remember
was saying.
hearing that. He was cleaning his gun and it misfired. And yes, I heard that. But
and the other time, in a moment of rage, he shot out somebody's tires.
Yeah, exactly. But you see, these people like the Gabby Giffords, and everything like that. Even if we had some type of checks where we'd be able to check these people that were unstable, these people just change doctors. If somebody comes up and they start to hassle them, they just change doctors. So they're never going to be able to track these people as being completely unstable. and not being able to get guns. That whole system is probably too complicated to follow through. I mean, who has it on their record that they're unstable? Where they just put a little asterisk after your name. How are they going to do it? And what doctor is going to label somebody as not able to carry a weapon? I don't want to really. If I'm crazy and I'm a doctor. Rather, I'm a doctor and I have a patient and he's trying to get a gun from me, and I'm not going to turn him down because he's going to get a gun and come back and shoot me. The guy's not in his right mind. It's a very, very difficult thing to do. It's very, very hard to check. But we have to do something because there's too many people walking around.
You're right. They have to agree on some method that can be implemented so that we cut down on the number of weapons that people have. Okay? I mean, it's... I think it was Iowa, just Iowa or Idaho. I'm not sure which state it was last week. Granted carry permits to blind people, and the way they got around that was saying that under the law of discrimination against handicapped people, you can't discriminate and say they're not allowed to carry a gun just like everybody else.
Exactly.
I mean, that's crazy. That's like giving a blind person the keys to your car.
Yeah, exactly. That's some jerk that's been elected official that decided that this discrimination and you can't do that, right? And they bring it up, and they're absolutely right. You can't discriminate, right? There's no test to get a gun permit. There's a test to drive a car, so the blind person can't get in his car and drive or pass a test, but there's no test to get a gun permit, and therefore it will be discrimination.
That's right. It's just an application.
Yeah, you fill an application, you get the gun. Keeping in mind that probably 99% of the guns that are on the streets are legally registered guns, all of these people that are totally unstable, they seem to be able to get their hands on a gun and use it. So, if we put all these checks and whatnots in, is it really going to stop the criminal from getting his gun? Or the crazy person to get the gun. If you really want one, I can probably go down the street. I live in Midtown Manhattan. I can walk down the block and get a gun in 20 minutes.
You probably could.
Yeah. A legal gun, hey, no problem. How many do you want? I mean, they're coming up here every day from the Carolinas, and they're here. But, I don't know what, somehow, some way, there's an answer, and the NRA is just holding firm, and they just have too much, they have a lot of power.
Well, you're right about what you said.
They don't want to give an inch. They don't want to give an inch.
You're right about what you said about North Carolina. That's one of the things that Bloomberg has been screaming about for years.
Yeah.
The fact that the guns are coming up from the Carolinas and Virginia, and people are getting their hands on guns.
Exactly. And, listen, if I had a whole bunch of guns, where would I go with them to get rid of them? I'd go up to home or I'd go to the gangs. Right? And, tell me, hey, listen, I got a shipment of guns, and I'd sell them in 2 seconds.
Well, just make sure they're not registered to your name, under your name, though.
Well, what's the ruling down in the Carolinas? Actually, somebody's buying these things, and then you just go and report the gun stolen. If you're buying one gun and it disappears, you report it stolen. Imagine there's got to be a way where you buy a handful of guns because these guys are doing it. I mean, they're shipping guns. I think they had a big gun bust a few months ago coming into the city. From the guys in the Carolinas. They pulled the guy who was speeding. I heard the story vaguely, and somebody was speeding in a car and had a shipment of guns in the car they were bringing up here. So somehow they got those guns. There's got to be a way to get them without having to go through any check, or anything.
But one thing I will say, no matter what's going on, you can't blame the NRA for this. I don't like the NRA. I don't think they're...
No, you can't blame the NRA.
Excuse me?
You can't blame the NRA. You're absolutely correct.
No,
you can't. But
you can't blame them.
Somewhere down the old beaten path, okay, the NRA is stopping something. that may possibly have saved somewhere, someplace. They just don't want to give an inch because it's the old thing. You give an inch, you take an arm.
I don't agree with either one of you on that. I think that if the NRA was serious about keeping these illegal guns off the market, there's a lot that they could do legally, okay, that would aid in keeping the illegal guns from being transported interstate from down south up here and then being sold illegally. But I don't see them doing anything.
No, it's the same thing. Do you really, really think that there would be this huge drug problem we have in the city if everybody wasn't making so much money? I mean, there has to be a way to cut these drugs off at the border, or get a stronger involvement if you want to switch over to drugs for a second. And if the government really, really wanted to stop everything, I believe they can do a better job than they can. I just think like somebody is just, scoring in the government. Somewhere down the line, somewhere, somebody is making money, so nobody wants to stop anything. And the NRA, we know they get money in strictly because they just pump so much money into these people that are being elected, that are running for office, that back them. And listen, it's the congressman's job to get reelected.
Hey,
so he has to kowtow to the NRA.
Mr. Frank.
Yeah.
We're limited to only 45 minutes from now on, and our show has gone on for 41 minutes and 37 seconds.
Oh, really?
So I appreciate you calling. Any last words before we cut you off?
No, I just you really, really should get a solid time that you're on. I have to say, sometimes I listen to the two of you talking, but sometimes I got to listen to it on a podcast because I can't find you. I don't know when to show you. I haven't had steady hours.
Well, we go on. We go on live every Friday at 9 o'clock, and we may be doing the same thing on Mondays. Mondays is not a definite yet, depending on the response of the audiences. And once we get on iHeart, which I think we will, then we'll be able to publicize the show more and the times, and it'll be easier to find.
All right, well, that's good. All right, you guys will have to show up, and I'll see if I can find you on Friday.
Friday, 9 o'clock.
Thanks a lot, Frank.
Hey, take care. Have a good week. You guys.
Good talking to you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Nice gentleman.
Yes, Felix. Well, looks like we're coming to the end of our show, Felix.
What we're going to try to do is do it the way they do it on TV and on the radio, like the pros do. We're going to run till our time, and at that time we're going to wish everybody good night, and we're going to be cut off at that time. That's done that's how TV shows are done. That's how radio shows are done.
Well, last time we ran over and they just cut us off, so you really have to be mindful of the time here.
Well, it was the first time we ever had that problem. We had a speaker just didn't want to stop talking, and he called.
Very true.
And he called sort of late, and we decided to take his call anyway.
We turn no calls down, ladies and gentlemen. We are more than happy to speak with you on any topic that you deem important enough to make that call about.
And remember, now with all these call plans, even if you're in California, I'm sure calling 516 is still considered just a domestic call with no extra charges.
No, they'll just have to call during dinner hours for them. It'll be 6 o'clock over there in California.
And if you really are mindful of your costs, you can call us at Skype at Trucking to Heaven. That's RD on Skype is Trucking to Heaven. Email is Mark, M-A-R-C, at Trucking to Heaven. And
Felix at Trucking to Heaven.
And our email, no, we got our email. Oh, and the phone number, so you can jot it down so you remember.
Area code 516-665-1860.
And once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Felix.
And Dr. Mark.
And hopefully soon he's going to be a rabbi.
No.
Rabbi?
No.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. This is Felix signing off.
Have a good evening.